to make sure the live streaming is going well. Everyone is joining. And we are streaming also on Facebook and YouTube. Give us a few seconds just to make sure the streaming going well here and there. Yes, there is slightly delay between this private webinar into the streaming for other channels. All right, we start. We have more people now joining. Hello, Sunita. Welcome to the Empowerment Talk. Yes. One more second. I'm going live on Facebook right now. Yes, I hit the button. Superb. So, of course, we are continuing with our empowerment talk with you guys. We felt so passionate and very excited to share with you those topics. And we start first topic. We said we want to dive into the detoxification, cleansing, and purification. How important is that? How we integrate that in our life, and how we use it, and how you can use it on the health, into the spirituality, into the mental, everything. And I have my galactic bro, Marty, with me here to keep the talk and discussion. And Marty will jump in right now. And Marty, tell us, how important is this, and how many levels we can go into the cleansing and detoxifications?
Yeah, so thank you for the invitation again, and thank you for the welcome. I'm very happy to be here on this beautiful platform and to talk about detoxification. This is something that is very important to me personally. It's something that I've gone through in my personal journey, and I could say that in the beginning, this was the most important part for me because, to put it simply, my environment was toxic. A lot of the levels of my being was toxified. So this detoxification process was the most important thing to set me off. So the levels of detoxification, there are many. The one that most people will be aware of is the physical detoxification, but there are many others. We can look at the mental aspects, the emotional aspects, spiritual aspects, and then the next level that we look at that a lot of people don't think about a lot of the time is our collective environment, the detoxification of our environment, our collective environment, our personal environment. So all of these things are important, and depending on where you are on your journey, you will be using different methods. But I think for most people at the beginning of their journey, the physical detoxification is the first thing that most people look at. At the beginning of my awakening, one of the first detoxification processes that I went through, I was guided. I visited a medium, and they gave me some advice to follow DNA recoding. And at that time, I had no idea what DNA recoding was, but it led me to a detoxification process that was very, very powerful for me. So I'd like to share that.
Your voice cut a little bit right now. Yeah, your voice is gone, Martin. I'm checking on the other screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's coming. Yes.
So yeah, this liver toxic, an amazing. We used apple cider vinegar, and we used malic acid and several different processes to soften the stones that can hold in your liver and gallbladder. And after 10 days, you do a flush with olive oil and lemon juice, apple juice, and that completely clears that. And after that process, my connections, spiritual connections, my meditations got deeper. I started receiving more guidance. My digestive system started working better. And they say that the liver is the place that holds anger, and I released hundreds of stones from my liver. So there was a lot of anger was let go, a lot of history, a lot of old baggage and stuff was let go, and that was a physical detoxification. But that worked on so many other levels than the physical. There was emotional, as I say, the spiritual, the meditations got deeper. And it just started a process that was very, very powerful. And that was the beginning of my awakening, and that's when real connections started to happen with me. But it's an ongoing process. I've done that liver gallbladder flush now 4 times, I think. You do it like once a year or once every 6 months.
Yeah, you get into the habit of routine of cleansing and detoxification. Yes.
Yeah. So the last time I did this, as I say, the first time I did it, the stones, there were hundreds. The last time I did it, there were about 3 or 4. So I can see the process.
Wow.
I can see that we can see the physical manifestation of that it is working, it is cleaning. And as I say, the emotional things that we do. So we'd like me to go into some of the other levels that I practice as well. Or how would you like
I want to tap into this comment. So to give proper picture for everyone who's watching. Mm-hmm. So I would say no matter how they look at it as a physical, so they need to cleanse, because we literally, guys, everyone, I'm really just saying to everyone, we literally have a lot of lower frequency, toxic, or some baggages that manifest in the body. Everything is frequency, but it manifests in the physical body and can affect everything. And the moment you start from the physical, I would say, the cleansing, the water, the breathing that you're going to tap into it right now, and cleansing the bladder and all the stuff, everything else connecting with it will start improving all the way from the mental. You'll find that there is some power of the mind that you don't have them. You thought that you don't have them. The moment you cleanse, it's like, oh, I can see clearly and everything. And it goes further, as you said, to meditation. Also with me, the connection, my channel, my feeling of the energy, super powerful. After I've done very depth detoxification on many levels. And also, as you mentioned, I want to tap into this specifically, guys. Somehow they go hand in hand. When you start the inner detoxification on all the level, physical, on all the way up, emotion, your environment has to be affected. You will not tolerate some negative energy. Everything will start shifting in a way, and you find yourself, you start witnessing something in your environment that, I need to detoxify this from my environment. They go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And you find yourself like everything is just blossoming in many levels.
Absolutely, for sure. Sunita just asked a question. She said, I am vegan. How intense would this cleanse be for me? So I'm also vegan, Sunita, and I have done this process as a vegan. What I would say is it's going to be better for you, because as a vegan, you're already eating very clean. There are a lot of toxins that you do avoid by becoming vegan. Not all. There's always some form in all food.
Pro and cons in all aspects, yes.
Yeah. So with that, Sunita, this, I would say it will be easier for you on a physical level. But as we just said, and as George just mentioned, this process works on a lot of levels. So it'll be emotional, spiritual. We can put a link. I can give you a link at the end for anyone that wants to look at that liver gallbladder flush. It's really, really powerful. I really recommend people to do that once every 6 months or so. So powerful one. So vegan, good.
I will add also to this. Also, the word vegan, it can be very healthy, or it can be still lot of oil, lot of fryings. We still consider it vegan. So you have to know if you consider your food not really lightened, I would say, like a bit heavy, still vegan, but heavy, then go into, let's say, if your belief system said that maybe it will be intense, then maybe you attract this to yourself. So start, for example, with more water. That we'll mention a little bit right now. Bit of fasting on the morning, little bit of water, little bit of greens, and then when you feel like, okay, I feel I'm ready, and jump into it. So in a way, we don't want to scare you. You can, of course, jump into it. But if you feel that you have a little bit of hesitance, maybe you have a little bit of belief system, I would say, or some energy that's feeling like maybe this is intense. You might attract this. So start gradually. And we'll mention a little bit about the water. And then when you feel ready, go for it. Go for whatever cleansing you would look for.
Yeah, absolutely. Around the water. So I'm now living in Portugal in the Algarve, and they say that the water is good to drink. That has not been my experience so far. We did start drinking it, but I felt, because I'm very sensitive now, and because the vehicle is fairly finely tuned, yes, we notice any little sways. So I found that my energy levels were lowering. The quality of the water wasn't good. So we just invested in a water purifier. So it's a carbon filter, and it takes out and I got fluoride and chlorine filters as well as a secondary process.
Yes,
so that runs through.
To mention more about the fluoride and the chlorine. Yes,
absolutely. So this system takes out all of that while still leaving the minerals, the essential minerals that you need. And then we do a further process then where we keep the water in glass jars as well. We avoid plastic as much as possible. And we store it in glass jars overnight with elite shungite and other crystals. So that's energizing the water, activating the water as well. So elite shungite, very good for that. And you can use other crystals. And as the teachings and the studies of Masamuro Emoto, your intention when you drink or eat anything is the important thing. So you could, if you were in a state of such connection, you could be drinking toxic black water.
It. Yes, you'll purify it.
You could purify it with your intention. Most of us aren't there, but that doesn't mean we don't put that full intention. That is our beliefs, our intention, the blessing of what we're taking through our system is the most important.
Everything is a frequency, guys. So when you are focusing your frequency on those high energy, harmonious, light, love, these kind of things, you emit that frequency through you, and you can affect everything. And the water, as Marty was mentioning, there is a lot of experiment, a lot of study that the water listens. Everything listens, I would say, but the water is one of the good medium to listen. When you are in anger, for example, cool yourself first and drink water, for example, or put your intention that I will call more light to this water and purify it in a way so it's structured in your system. Okay, we have one more question, I think. Let me answer this also. The Kangen water, and she was also mentioning about the raw diet. This is a very good topic to dive into the raw. I'm pro raw, but I would say not 100%. This is my experience, because your body needs a while till get used to fully break all the raw food. So gradually build up the raw, I would say. And I would say also that sometimes steamed, very light steamed, are just good, because your body, some of the raw are really hard. So go gradually, and 80% is good. I would say it's very good. You don't need to, it's up to you, of course, if you want to go 100%, but this is good enough. So that means your body already purified, get ready for that. And then the other aspect is Kangen water. I've been into this field for a while. It's a machine where it works on ionizing, microclustering of the molecules of the water, and alkalining. So alkalining, of course, is very important. We're going to mention this also because our body really thrives when it's alkaline. This is the best environment where no cancer can survive. Other kind of fungus and stuff cannot survive also. Now, the other aspect of that machine, you can do them all in many other tools. I witnessed the machine and I tasted myself. It was good. I would say a bit expensive, but it's good. So if you feel that this is your go for it. I would mention another thing called microclustering. You can also use it when boiling the water or put it under the sun, as Marty was saying, putting crystal. It can also do this microclustering. Microclustering is sometime, especially with Dubai, I would say maybe, or some area that they don't have flow water. The water after a while stuck and they cluster. So the molecules come and they become bulky. You drink it, doesn't go. It just, your body doesn't absorb it. So there is many ways and tools to micro cluster. So break those big chunk of molecules into smaller, and your body absorb it faster. One of them is a crystal, putting on the sun, boiling, and so on. And ionizing also is superb. So I would say this is, and there is many tools to do that, and yet there is many machines also to do that. But those are the concept, which is important. So from time to time, I do the under the sun. I put the bottle under the sun and put some crystal in it. Yes.
Yeah, that's something that we've done as well. If you're in a sunny place like in Dubai, glass bottle, put it under the sun. The sun is the natural purification system that water receives when it's running through rivers. So that works as well. Around the alkalization, there's something else that we used I can't remember the exact name of it, but I'll get it and put it in the comments here. So it's also a carbon-based thing, and it comes from Japan. And they heat this piece of wood at very, very high temperatures, and then that you put that into the water. It also takes any toxins out of the water, but it alkalizes the water as well. So we used that, and that was amazing. And we had a guy come to our house to sell us one of these machines. It wasn't Kangen, but it was one of these where you could literally set the acidity or the alkalinity of the water. It was like 3,000 euros. So it was good to see, but we weren't ready to go for that. But what we found was he did a test of our water, the tap water, and his water, and our alkalinity test from using this.
This tools, yeah.
I can't remember the name. I will tell you I will put the link because Sunita's asking about that. So it's like a black bit of wood, circular, and you just put it into your water bottle, and it alkalizes the water. But it's a Japanese. I think it's called Bintokan, Bintokan, something like that. At the end of the webinar, I'll get the link for that. And he tested it with his system, and he said, "I don't really know what you're doing here, but the alkalinity of this water is as good as what's coming out of here, or slightly different, slightly lower." But so that was like 20 euros what we did, and the machine was 3,000 euros. So nature has every detoxification.
There is always a lot of tools. It's
always there. There's always methods. So yeah, Bintokan, I think it's called. I'll get the exact link and post it in the comments so you can get it, Sunita. You can check it out. So you can get them off Amazon. I think it came from the UK, but originally from Japan. So that's really good, and a really cost-effective way. You can keep it in your water bottle as you go around. And it can alkalize any water. So really good. Yeah. The other thing that I do in the morning, so you talked about fasting, I'll go on to that, but with the water in the morning,
yes,
I add a little pinch of bicarbonate of soda, which also, I use that every day. So in warm water, not hot, warm. So like lukewarm water, you drink that, you just feel your system that's how I start every day. You feel that it's alkalized, and it just gets everything going. Very small amount. I dilute it.
Yes, that's what I do also, especially when for people, also for the fasting or for the people who do eat on the morning. I would say a bit of acidic food, let's say egg or cheese or coffee or tea. Those are a bit acidic. So I do exactly the same, and this is what we were sharing with you guys. We didn't even discuss about the bicarbonate, me and Marty, but we know that eventually the most essential tools will be already practiced by someone who's very keen onto bringing the highest, best cleansing to your system. You find yourself tapping into it. You find yourself attracting it. So I do the same. Yeah. I put 1 glass of water, put a pinch of bicarbonate, and I drink it. If I have time, I will drink another glass. And in between also what I do, and we've done it last time in the intensive, we give to all the participants. They came, it was full fasting day for very strong connection with the energy and the meditation. So they said, don't worry, you'll not be hungry, we're going to serve you liquid. So the first liquid was a blend of some super green superfood, which is, for example, wheatgrass, spirulina, chlorella, alfalfa grass, any deep grass. Now, of course, you can juice them, will be fresh and fantastic, but sometimes it's not convenient, it's not easy. So you will find everywhere in the shop, in organic shop, something called green superfood. It will be blend of some of those what we are sharing with you: wheatgrass, alfalfa grass, chlorella, spirulina, these kind of things. So you put a little bit on it. What they do is they have the chlorophyll and they have other enzyme and stuff. On the morning, they support all the digestive system, and you don't need to eat. You'll notice you don't really need to eat on the morning. And then if you want to continue with the fasting, you have the alkalinity, you have the fibers, you have the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is very important. That's why green leaves are very powerful, because it mimic the blood cells and it supports the whole process in the blood circulation. So I do that also, and we serve it to the people. And after that, if they want to go in more, let's say, cacao, we serve also cacao, because cacao give a boost. So we are avoiding any acidity during the day. And also I will mention about the bicarbonate. During the day, if I felt I ate something that has a lot of acidity and I felt it, now in the moment you start detoxification, you just feel your stomach, you feel your system. You know when you are acidic, when you are something toxic in it, your body becomes sensitive back, your sense come back alive, I would say.
Yeah.
And the moment you do that, when you know there is some acidity, I can sense that I ate, let's say, something lot of coffee, lot of chocolate, and a lot of, I don't know, eggs and cheese and so on, it's full acidity. I would do the same. I put a little bit of water, drop of bicarbonate, pinch, and then, okay, now it's balanced. Or the other way of, if you have alkaline water also is good.
Yeah, it's really good, really good. And I found when we've started this process, the new system that we put in, I found the water. I'm eating a lot. I wasn't eating a lot. I only eat like 2 times a day normally now. Anyway, I've cut that down naturally. But what I find when I have this water that's been detoxified and purified, I find that I feel full and energized just by drinking this water. And that's, our systems are made up of predominantly water, and that's the reason why it matches the vibration of our body, the water. So Sunita says, what about yogic cleansing methods like jali neti, etc.? So I was going to mention that. So every 6 months you do they recommend that you do this liver, colon, and gallbladder flush. So on the 6 months in between those, I did 6 months I did that. Then the next 6 months I did the yogic cleansing. So I did one in India, which was very intense, very, very. So the salt water and lemon, so complete flush of the system. We did the neti pots. We did. I tried to do the one where they do like this. For me, this was not good for me. I actually fainted. I literally fainted on yoga teacher training doing this. I started to put it in. I could taste the rubber. Something or something. I took it out. I fainted. So that's not. There's lots of people did it and they found it very good. But I'm just telling you what happened for me. I think the neti pot is pretty salt water. That's really good. And very, very easily at home. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and you're using natural products, clean water, salt. That works very, very well.
I will mention a little bit about this yogis. If you give me the mic. So I also study, of course, I study these, and I used to do them. I would say my understanding for the yogic practice at that times, you have to understand also human consciousness evolution and the time. They are very powerful practice, of course, but they were much needed at that time than now. You have to understand the shift right now. So now we are a bit of lighten up, where we have a more expanded tools, and our intention is very powerful, our energy is very powerful. We literally shifted, the whole humanity shifted. Now you can still use them, they are still powerful, but I would say they were not as required as before. Especially at that time, those yogis, they were so keen to bring all their system in super high frequencies to the connect. But at that time, there were a lot of veils, a lot of heaviness. They require very strong discipline. But right now is much less, I would say. It's much easier right now from the frequency, from everything. And that I would say, you in those topics, try them if you want. But I said right now there is a lot of tools that has almost same benefit if you are regularly doing it, where you don't need, I would say, a bit of more extreme cleansing to bring yourself into high frequency. The veil is much thinner right now, I would say.
For sure. And this really led to the next stage that I found that was really powerful. Once we do all the physical detoxification and around our diet and that, The fasting was something that I found super simple, like really amazing. So, like for instance, today, every day I'll do a minimum of 12-hour fast, so 7 to 7. But generally these days it's been going longer. So I stop eating at 7 p.m. and I'm not hungry. Or if I'm doing something like this here, it's 12 o'clock now Portuguese time, and I didn't eat it was like 7 the night before, and I feel energized. I feel really good. I love it. I love cooking. I love creating things. But less and less, I'm finding.
Your sound is breaking, so I need you to repeat the timing, so people they can hear your fasting method.
So yeah,
because you sound breaking.
So it's okay now. Better?
No, I still breaking.
Really?
One more time. Can you think if you have connection and everything?
Yeah, connection is okay. I am in the sun. I might move this. That's what I was doing because the hot sun coming here. Sometimes the technology doesn't like the very hot temperature, as you know, in Dubai. Is that better now?
Yeah.
So yeah, I say I'm 77, so a 12-hour fast every day. So the last food at 7 p.m. and no food before 7 a.m. But I say that has been extended just now for me, where I normally don't eat until maybe 10 or 11, maybe 12 some days. So like a day like today, it's 12 o'clock, and the last food would normally be 7 the night before. This is a powerful detoxification on its own. I feel it's something that everyone can do. It's not something mentally a lot of people have to get around, because we've been trained into this and conditioned into this 3 meals a day and certain types of food and certain foods that we have to eat at meal times. And it's something that we have been conditioned to, and it's conditioned so that we become consumers. I mean, so we're constantly eating, we're constantly buying, and it's not good for our systems. Our body has to work overtime to, first, even if we're eating the most clean food possible, like absolute cleanest, freshest food that we can, our body, that's still dense material that our body has to transfer through and generate the energy from that food. So when we add a lot of food and then we add the toxins on top of that, it means that our system has to work so very hard to firstly detoxify the food that it takes in, and then do the normal process of digestion, which generates and takes the life force and the prana from the food. So this fasting, you can start it, you can try it, maybe 8 hours, maybe 7 hours, something like that, because a lot of people eat late at night. That's the one that's easy to do. If you start your fast a good bit before you go to sleep, you don't really notice it because you're sleeping. Like the 77, or you could do 88, depending on your schedule. You have your fasting in that time, and if you extend it before you go to sleep and extend it slightly after you wake up, then it's a powerful way to add fasting. The intermittent fasting I tried before, where you do it like once a week or something like that. Again, it was good, but I found to do something and create a habit, create a real change in your life, it needs to be something you do every day. So I always want the simplest method, because a lot of times if you do that 1 day fast and it's just a 1 day thing, then you just binge on the days after that and increase the calories. Whereas if you're doing it daily, through your sleep and just before and just after, it's a much easier way to get that fast, and your system will love you for it.
Yes, this is almost exactly what I'm doing. It is for some people, if they want to do some research about it, it's very important, it's very powerful, and everywhere right now there is a lot of research and study about fasting actually increase your energy, and you can build and heal your system with fasting. And all the old concept of you have to keep eating is absolutely not working for our best. And there is many ways to step into it. I will mention some of the ways, And if you guys want to do your research about it, intermittent fasting or something called semi-ketosis also, you can do that, where you're introducing more healthy fat than too much carbs in your system, and then you find yourself easily start jumping into the fasting because your body will use the fat, the resource within your system, without feeling the hunger. The hunger will be start less, more and more become less, and you notice most of the time when people they're getting hungry, I would say, because their body is tired and so depending on the resources from the food, and he's not able to tap into your own energy. And that's what Marty was sharing with you guys. The more you start tapping into teaching, reminding your body that you have all the power, don't depend on food much, you find that your body start remembering to reproduce some powerful energy. And you can tap into, I will continue about that also with the prana. You can start remembering that through your breath, you can bring super powerful energy, the sun, the air. You can start tapping into many other aspects, and body learn that he doesn't depend on food much, and then everything will start changing slowly but slowly. But you can introduce it step by step, I would say, if you don't want to just jump into it. Also, but if you feel ready, jump into it. I jumped into it when at that time. And from time to time, I notice when I'm sometime, I would say, tired or stressed during the day, I will feel my body keen to go to eat. So I noticed that that sometimes it's a little bit of, as Marty was sharing with you, it's a little bit of mindset. It's like, no, don't buy into it. The moment you bring yourself, no, I can just relax myself, and then you bring your energy somehow. You do actually, sometimes we just depend on food. We don't need it. Like literally, you don't need them as need. It's just dependent as a way of going away from the comfort zone and so on.
Yeah, what you said there just reminded me of a teacher that we're working with at the minute who is he's very good with words and the power of words. And he says, don't depend on resource, depend on the source, because you are the source of this energy. And he says you're not a battery that puts out energy. You're a power plant that generates energy. And the more and more that you realize that, then less and less you depend on outside sources, including food or anything else. One other thing we could just throw in here is we have a friend, an amazing lady who is a breatharian, full breatharian. We met her in Ireland last year, and she is without the need for food and water for more than a year and a half. Incredible woman. Just being in her presence, literally meters away, you can feel her presence. But what she said around food is very much what reminded me what you just mentioned there, is that it's an emotional our need for food is an emotional attachment to, like you said, you feel stress, I reach for food. At the extreme levels, it's very, very deep sense of loss or deep sense of unworthiness, and food is filling the gap for a time. And what she said is that it's the need for food is not a physical need. It is developed into a physical need, but it's an emotional attachment. Sunita says that she can't see me.
I know your picture is going in and off, but I would say we can hear his voice right now, because then I will ask him to restart his browser. It's okay right now. It will come again once his bandwidth increase a little bit.
Okay.
Also, that the other side, I can see your picture here. I don't know why, but it's okay. I know. We're almost reaching to the end of the episode, the theme. So we'll continue a little bit on this, and hopefully next time,
I think so.
Some his connection will be a bit stronger, then the picture will always stay. But the voice is clear. Yes, okay. And also I want to tap into this idea. Yesterday we had a beautiful ceremony, if you know San Pedro. So in ceremony, your heart expanded, and you tap into the frequency, and the whole journey that I experienced, that everything is frequency. And I was able to see the flow of the energy through everyone. And we didn't need it food. We were jumping, buzzing of energy. Everything was vibrating. And I saw the similar what you mentioned now, Marty. I saw that somehow mid of the journey, someone was eating banana, I guess, and he gave me banana, and it sat there. It didn't move. And my body was like, I don't want banana. You don't need it right now. And I saw that the body will take time to break that banana molecules, to turn it to something, and then observe it fully. Then it become yours. So you actually put pressure most of the time, especially when you're doing meditation, let's say, or you're doing some energy work, you don't need food. So everything is frequency. It's and I was seeing that this frequency is not mine yet, and I have to make it mine, where I have the whole frequency around me. And I was like, why I need this frequency? I can tap into the whole source of energy. And I was seeing like your hand, breathe, everything flows, everything, guys. Of course, I would love to have a picture how I was seeing it to show it to you. And you don't have doubt that we are already, and we mentioned this, and maybe later when we'll talk about the light body and our astral projection, our connection with our guide, and so on. We just putting a lot of density to experience this 3D times. But in essence, the more we tap into our essence, we are multidimensional. We can tap into the source, and we are learning. We are remembering those, like the breatharian friend, and what we are sharing with you guys. And you can once you also jump into the astral projection, you will see the cosmic joke. Everything is frequency. Like you can do everything, literally. So incredible. Yeah, I wanted to share this with you guys.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think we've focused mostly on the physical today. So maybe in the next one we can go more into the emotional, mental, and spiritual elements, and then move on to the elements and the light body and that type of thing. So, but I think we covered some good stuff on the physical today.
Yes, and maybe next time also we can mention more about more your literally how you practice the fasting and the cleansing and the stuff. Like we start tapping into one by one. Okay, so the water, how is it? Like how I mentioned, for example, I put the super green, you put the bicarbonate, so we can then people they can. I would say, so we direct the talk about that topic specifically, and they will start diving into that topics one by one. Then the breathing, the breatharian, and how is the breathing. You can also cleanse through the breathing, and you can bring energy. You can bring prana, as you mentioned also, and you train your system to bring prana through the breath, and instead of waiting for a resource to give you prana. Prana is everywhere.
Absolutely. It's in everything. It's everywhere. It's just how much we allow in. And Sunita says she just ate 3 bananas. Don't worry about that. I ate 3 as well. or I eat them not today, but I eat them most mornings. But I think what George was just saying is that when you see through all of this facade, through this veil, you see that regardless what we eat, it could be the most healthy thing, like a banana. There's nothing wrong with the banana. It's a fruit of the tree. We don't actually need its frequency. Everything is frequency, and there's a process. Once we eat that food, like you said, for it to extract the life force, the prana, the energy that we want from it. Whereas someone who is a breatharian, which is the extreme level of course at this other end, they're actually drawing life force from the ether, from everything around them through the breath, through their practices. So we're all evolving towards that, I feel. I know humanity, for me, through my guides, I know that we began without the need for food. The fall of consciousness was something created this need for food, or the things outside of us, depending on resources rather than the source, like I said before. So I think as this evolution, as this ascension goes on, we are going to move to lighter and lighter diets, less and less dependency on anything outside of us, including food. And it's all a process, but you don't compare ourselves to anyone else. Everyone is personal, and your timeline and journey is individual. We can always share our wisdom and experiences, but I think the most important thing around physical and anything that you do is how your body responds. Like George said, exactly you knew your body didn't need that, but maybe someone else, they really didn't need that at that time. So it's individual to each person, but there are definitely best practices that we're given that work. If it's work a number of people, the higher likelihood is that it will be beneficial to you as well in some way.
Yes, exactly. From person to person is a different journey. I'll tap into this also more, Marty, was what you're sharing. Also, eventually, the more we evolve, the more we lighten up, the more we go into that ascension time to remembering, we'll have less dependence on food, less till we become more lighter. We tap into the source again, and we can just flow in the frequency. But I would say on the journey, some people will be slower than others for whatever reason their journey is. But we just asking you guys, we inviting you. That's why we are sharing. That's why we are passionate to do that. Starting from the physical cleansing to all the way to many elements to start listening to our practice and see how that result with our practice. We don't want to prove anything to you, but we already have done it. We have all the tools. You know us. You want to check our other videos also, how we've done. And that's why we're sharing with you that open up to the possibility that you have other resource. Open up to possibility that you can expand in many ways that in the past you thought or been taught that's not possible. The more you start opening up on whatever speed you are, you'll find yourself the tools and the elements that's required start coming in till you reach wherever you want to reach in that evolution. And that's what we are doing here. We're just sharing our story, so inspiring you.
Yeah. Sunita asks a very good question there. Does it have to all be organic? So I would like to speak to this. I am very blessed to be living in Portugal, where we can get all organic veg. As I said, we're vegan. We can get all organic fruit and veg locally here. We can go to a farm and just pick it. Depending on where you are in the world, that isn't always as available. So for me, I don't feel it has to be all organic. And my guides have actually touched on this as well, that even organic food, with the best will in the world on organic food, there are still toxins within everything that we are going to ingest, regardless of what happens, because the environment and lots of other things. We don't need to really go into that. But for me, what I think is your intention, and it shouldn't be, if you're buying organic food, but you're stressed because it costs too much, and it's you have to drive so far to get it that it's a hassle for you. The benefits of the organic food will be lost because of the lowering of vibration.
100%.
Yes, ideally, everybody would eat organic food, local food as well, is what I feel. Local organic is the best. But I don't feel like it's something that you have to stress. And if it's easily available and within easy financial means, you can do that. The other step that you can look at is there's something they call the dirty dozen, which is 12 foods that are particularly prone to pesticides and they need to use more. So it's things like strawberries and apples, and there's a few other things on there, 12. And those things, if you look at that list, you would want to be organic on those, or lessen your intake on them. There are other foods like they talk about, like avocados and all of those, that you don't really need or to be organic. So I'd say strive like 80-20 rule. If you can do it and it's available and you can do it without stress or lowering your vibration, and it works, and you can have a relationship and you can really have positive intention, do that. If it's way out of the realm of normal life, don't stress about it. Just try the best and look at that dirty dozen and see those. If you eat those, maybe you go organic on those or cut those down, and then the rest you can
use the detoxification method to keep working on cleansing whatever toxics build up in the system. The system has the power to cleanse anyway. The moment you support it and be wise with it, you'll find yourself, you are fine-tuning in the way, like fine-tuning. As Marty said, even the best organic, still there is some toxic in the environment. We need years to clean it. But you're valuing your choice of saying, I want to start choosing more organic, is you're telling to the market, I would say, that stop putting too much toxic So I would say that's maybe call, maybe support people who support local farming in that sense. From time to time, if you do that, you are just sending your vibration to the universe, like, I don't agree on too much toxic. Let it be smooth and easy. Let it be. So maybe the vibration till more people shift in that sense. And this what happened with me. I remember I shifted my vibration in Dubai, I would say, where I previously I thought that there is no possibility I find healthy food. And I was so focused on it that healthy food should be easy, should be possible, available. And then everything around me become more healthy. Wherever I go, I have my food that I know that's good for me is available, because we are co-creator. We just affect the reality around us.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like you said, it's always this old thing, focusing on what you want, not what you don't want. So we don't focus on the pesticides. We don't focus on the chemtrails. We don't focus on the intention of the person that handled this food. We focus on what we want. We want the highest vibration food, the lightest food, the cleanest food, the food that's going to give us the energy, the food that's going to ultimately be kind of it. And if that's what we focus on, what we want, then, as you said very, very well, what you buy and what you put your intention on is what's going to be more created more of. So we too oftentimes we focus on all the things that is wrong and what we want to avoid, and I definitely have been I need to listen to my own advice on this. It's something that I have been very, very much into myself, avoiding this, avoiding that, avoiding this. What am I generating? What am I focusing on? What do I want? What do I want? And it's always that. And the guides talked about that as well.
I think I read that. Yes,
around,
yes. Remind me with the message.
Like the organic, so the organic food, they were saying, yes, this is the best practice, but also they talked about, the stress element. And you've got, unless you're going to a farm like we are blessed to do, you have the transport between, if the person taking this stuff from an organic farm is really pissed off about his job, he hates it, and his intention around this food, there's things like this that that are not necessarily out of our control, not necessarily within our awareness, but all of those things are vibration. And that's where really putting your intention on what you want and is going to bring the best out of what you eat. And again, not stressing too much.
100%.
If you don't eat organic
your
food all the time.
frequency is determined your environment. So that's why we're sharing a couple of tools. We're sharing our tools. Get inspired. Just don't be super obsessed about everything, because you are creating a very lower frequency that will just affect your environment all over again.
Yeah.
And we have a nice comment also. Please hold a cleansing retreat in Portugal. George, please organize one. Aho. Yes, aho. Hopefully one day we can.
Yes, come. Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. I was speaking with George before this. We're actually staying at a retreat center now that is like we're going to get into in the next one, where I talk environment. So they do digital detox retreats and cleansing on the food. So there's no Wi-Fi signal, no mobile signal. It's out in nature. So completely detox. We slept there last night. I slept like a baby. It was great. So there were no mobile signals, no Wi-Fi signals, which are all frequency and vibration that we can get into in the next time about our environment. So yeah, of course we can do it. There's lots of that sort of thing goes on in Portugal. There's just retreats and all of those things. All of that stuff is powerful. So we can bring Ascension platforms and
put our intention for one day. That's this co-creation happens. Yeah. And we have one more comment also from
absolutely. We would love to.
Corelina. Thank you. I really enjoyed the discussion and your information and recommendations. Have a blessed day. You too have a blessed day, sister. Thank you for your comment. Yes, looking forward. Yes,
you,
and
sister.
The next webinar will be we'll start slicing more about the topic. We'll We'll take one part, let's say, for example, more about our practices, and we go into why we do that practice and how that affect us. And we can give you some example when we start doing those practices, how it affect us, and how we can do it in many ways. And then from there, we can tap into the water, the breathing, the emotion, and many things. You can use any tools. We're providing our what we are doing, guys, that allow us to reach here, and we witness what we actually doing naturally already. Everyone into that calling of bringing his best to himself, bringing his alignment, is already doing the same. So it's a general, I would say, general theme. So yes, everyone has to do it in different way in a sense, but there is a general theme for the whole cleansing and practices. Yes.
So I think Sunita asked one more question about enema cleanses. I can talk about this briefly. The liver gallbladder flush that I did, that I have done several times now. The first two that I did, they didn't recommend doing the enema as part of the program, but as it evolved, I looked at other options to do it, and the last one I did, well, actually the last two that I did, they did recommend doing the enema as part of that process as well. So clearing. For me, the experience was good. I can't really say if there was much difference from the times I did the cleanse with it and without it. There wasn't much difference. To be honest, I've not looked a lot into it. I know there's a lot of people that swear by it, and there's others that talk about you losing a lot of the gut, or the bacteria in the colon by doing this. Yeah, so to be honest, I've not looked a lot into it. I have done it twice. I didn't have any negative effects, I could say, but I didn't see any huge positive benefits personally with me for that. The first time I did it, it worked just as well without. So I think I would really, again, for me, I always say it's personal testing. You try it. If you feel called to it and you feel you need it, you can try it yourself with doing all your research and finding out what's best for you personally with your own personal experience and body makeup, and try it and see if it works. I think we talk about the yogi practices. I think a lot of them they talk about that in the ancient stuff as well. So I feel like there are benefits to it for sure. Whether recommend it one way or the other, for me, I'm feeling
for me. I've done most of those yogic practices. They are beneficial, definitely, but still, for me, after a while, with a new awareness that start bringing connection with the guides, some of the guides will literally say the ancient time, at that time, it was very tough. The yogis had to do a lot of work on themselves to pierce into the veil. I say, but right now you have all the power, everyone's around you. You can co-create many tools that those ancient practice, I would say the extreme one, is not anymore as required as before. Yet, if you feel cold, of course, go ahead. And I stopped doing those cleansing long ago. So our sharing with you is, if a group of people who work on themselves and they haven't done those practices or extreme practices for a long while, and they still reach to the level that they think that is the level that's high enough for your astral projection, mental clarity, health, and all stuff. So I would say it's not really highly required, I would say. Yet from person to person, it's your call.
Yeah. It can. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
all right, I guess that's it for today. The next webinar, we'll start diving into more our tools, and we'll talk specifically about we do this, why we do that, how do we felt about it, and continue from many aspects. Water, breathing, and other kind of cleansing, and then we'll go into the emotional and environment, and then we tap into the light body, because we are so passionate about bringing you a high frequency understanding. You will see completely different. Your understanding about reality will shift, and that's a empowerment by itself. All right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much for inviting me again. I really am passionate about these talks and this information. It's great to have the bounce off with you, with our individual experiences and points of view. It's great, and thank you for Sunita and everyone else that joined in, or anyone watching in the future. We're very grateful. And as Yogi George says, we share our personal experiences, and if you can, you will attract or create the things that you need from our words. We hope to keep it going.
Yes.
And sharing
Thank
more
you.
value in our
So
wisdom.
of course, always joyful to have you, brother, and have the discussion, and amazingly to see the synchronicity and see that some of the elements are just natural, just with the drone in it, and we just almost doing a very general similar theme without even thinking about it, that we are actually choosing the same tools. And yes, and we of course will post the links. Marty will post links that he mentioned. Yes, we'll post it here for you to come and look at it. We'll post it in the private webinar. So you guys, if you're watching on Facebook, you have to join the webinar and see all the discussion with all the talks. And it's so joyful and heartfelt, with love and joy to share with you guys and have you with us. Much love to you for the next time. Namaste.
Yes, see you all soon. Namaste.